to Gaming Rev. This is episode 2 of my Valheim series, How to Build a Base. So, I've been out and collected the resources I needed. We're going to show you basically how to build a small home, which is the one we're heading over to now. It's one I found when I first landed in the world. It was a bit run down, so it's a fixer-upper. It's nothing impressive. It's literally a 2x3 building with a roof on it, a chimney, a door and some furniture inside. It's the basics you need to survive in the game. You've got your bed, your workbench, a campfire. Nothing fancy, nothing really that's going to be a long-term base. It's enough to sleep in overnight and to rest in so that you don't get too exhausted. But it's not really much of a base, I've got to be honest. It's the sort of thing I build if I'm a long way from home and want somewhere to set as a spawn point, so if I do die, I don't have to trek all the way across the map. Instead, we're going to build something a bit bigger, but that will also function as a training hall, somewhere where we can look through and think, yep, this is going to do the job we need it to do. I've collected about 350 wood. That will just about build what I want, and that is quite a few trees. I'm going to craft a hoe. A hoe allows me to flatten terrain. If you're going to build something, you're going to want to have a level area, and so I'm going to level the area around me roughly. It's not perfect, but that will give me then a flat base to work from, rather than all the hills and undulations that you can see on the land now. Flatten out the area that you want to build in. You don't need to make it massive. It can be handy if you want to turn to some farming later on to level out a larger area, but you can do it as you need it. For now, I'm just going to literally flatten the area that I want. Once that's done, we're going to use our building tools again. That's the hammer, selecting number 2, right clicking and going to building, and we're going to go along and build the base. Now I've speeded up the process, so what took me about 17-18 minutes you're going to see in a 10-minute video. So we're grabbing the wood out. Don't worry about weight right now. You're going to be building quite a lot, so if you're overloaded you're going to lose a lot of that weight quite quickly. Now as you see this going through its speeded up build process, it's not this fast. This is at 4 times speed. Anything that's touching the ground will be blue. Anything that's off the ground will be a different colour. Green is quite safe, but it progresses from green through yellow, orange to red, and once it goes past red it collapses. So you'll see that in the corner I've put a little post down just to support the building, and I'm now putting bits of wall underneath it to make sure that it stays sturdy. This is vital really. The last thing you need is a base that's unstable, and if one section gets damaged the entire thing could fall down. I'm going to put a half section on top, partly for the height and how it looks, but also partly because I want that extra height for my training build, which you'll see in the next video. If you want to delete anything, you just press the middle mouse button and it will delete what you've put there, and even better, it actually returns all the resources that you've used. So if you build something up and think, oh, I didn't really want that, don't worry, you haven't lost all those hard-earned resources. You've still got them, you just go and pick them back up again. So putting the roof on, you've got different angles of roof you can use, a 45 degree, or I think it's a 26 degree roof, yeah, 26 degree. Just go through, use whichever one you feel comfortable with, you like. Put your roof on. Now you'll notice that I'm doing a section of the roof that I haven't built into yet, and that's going to be for my chimney stack. Again, this game is quite realistic in some ways. If you build a fire in your house, it will fill the house with smoke, so you need somewhere for the smoke to get out. Now originally I just used to leave a hole in the roof, and that was fine apart from the fact that smoke would still come in, and of course you get the problem if the rain comes in. Again, you can see me putting some flooring down with supports for it. So I decided that with the chimney design, it meant that I could actually have the fire inside the house, which is what's needed, without killing myself in my sleep, which is, you know, my preference. All you do to build your chimney, which you'll see in a minute, is get a couple of the wall pieces, put the walls either side of a patch of bare earth. There mustn't be any flooring down there. So, here we go. And then you build your fire pit into the floor, and then build the walls up through the ceiling so that it takes the smoke up and out the building. There's nowhere for it to come into. Now this isn't a traditional Viking longhouse. I'm sure for purists out there they'll be screaming at me that it's, you know, it's not right, but it works for me. As I say, put the fireplace in that section there, which is under miscellaneous, the fireplace, and then you pop it in, the fire springs into life, and you get the smoke coming out. Now if we go outside the building, ignore the cooking rack for now, I'll explain that again in the next video. Right. One thing, when you've got your hammer equipped, you cannot open doors or interact with chests. You need to either unequip it by pressing 2 again, or you need to choose a different item. So then we're going to put a roof on the outside, and remember what I said about structural integrity, you need to make sure that everything is supported. So we're going to put some supports in place to help support the roof. You can see the smoke coming out of the roof at the minute. Now again, you don't need to do this extra step, but I tend to put a section of roof facing the other way as well, just to make sure that the rain can't get into the building at all. Obviously what you don't want is rain coming in and putting your fire out. And again, to support it, so I don't just leave it hanging like that, put the side pieces in, and then I'll put a couple of beams in from the wall of the house up to those side pieces, just to support them again. It looks, I think, slightly better, but more importantly it adds to that structural integrity. Typically run out of wood, so go and get some more. And as I say, remember you need to disable the hammer to unequip it before you can actually access the chest or the door to do what you want. A number of times I've sat there pressing E thinking, why is this not opening? And then realised I've still got the hammer out. And there we have it. We're going to put in a little bit more furniture now. We're going to put in a bed, because obviously you need somewhere to sleep. So go into the crafting menu, furniture, and there's the bed. You'll notice on each of the screens there's a hammer in the crafting menu. The hammer is the repair tool. If your building gets damaged over time, which can happen through the weather or through creatures attacking it, you can use your repair tool again at no cost to repair damage to the building. It won't be much use if you've got a troll that decides it's going to smash your house to pieces, but it will repair some damage. Thanks for your time. See you in the next video. Take care.